Originally, I played Darkstone first, which was reviewed at the time as a Diablo clone. It seemed like any review I read was comparing it to Diablo. And since I enjoyed Darkstone, I also played Diablo. So this is both a review and comparison of both those two games. Both games are on the PC and PlayStation, and I played the PC versions of both. Visually, Diablo looks so much better to me. The art style is more for me, and it's got this perpetual dusk in the town, and that, to me, that's also better, but it feels like I'm playing a painting is the best way I could describe it, whereas I'm just not a fan of how Darkstone looks at all. I think it looks bad, I think it looks real, polygon-y, and I'm not just talking like, oh, it's a brighter game, so it's bad, because it does get darker, like halfway through it gets darker. I just think the art style and the models of Diablo are more my speed than Darkstone. But one thing it does have over Diablo is I can change the direction of the camera, and you can't do that in Diablo. You gotta use the arrow keys for Darkstone to do this, so that is annoying when you're using a mouse, but it is still an improvement. Music-wise and sound effect-wise, Diablo, in my opinion, is the winner again, as the music gives a very haunting, atmospheric sound to the game that really brings out the tension. You can hear laughter or a baby crying, or there's just lots of like scary things in the background, and often it's less of music and more of just this creepy ambience. And in Darkstone, I don't even remember the music at all, so I'm leaning towards it wasn't as good as Diablo's. Now, game mechanics are almost exactly the same. It's about going through dungeons, killing enemies, grabbing loot, and returning to sell it, and you rinse and repeat. Left click is attack, and it is many other things. And right click uses magic. It is incredibly simple. The UI is very intuitive. Most things just work with left click. And I can't see that being a problem if you want to like attack someone but also pick something up and they're both in the same spot. Sure, I can see that. But I think one of the benefits of that is it's just so easy to pick up and play, or to show someone and then they can pick up and play. You don't gotta learn a gazillion things. Which, don't get me wrong, I do like that. I do like learning complex whatever shit, but I also enjoy when I can just hop into something. And they both play basically the same. Now, Darkstone does win still in this area because you can actually run in Darkstone, and in Diablo you are quite slow, which I think is absolutely fine for the dungeons, but in town, I really just want to get around and I am slogging through the towns. Another thing Darkstone has over Diablo is it is easier to see the items that are dropped. In Diablo, if I missed the sound effect indicating to me that something dropped, then I might miss that an item was even there. In both games, money will slowly fill up your inventory slots, but in Darkstone there is a bank you can deposit your money into to help with that issue. And all of this makes Darkstone better mechanically in my opinion. However, there are two other features to note that are unique to Darkstone, which you may like or may not like. In Darkstone, you are aging, and this can cause debuffs. And there is also a hunger meter, and so you gotta like carry food around for you to eat. And these are more of a mechanical preference. I'm not saying one's bad, but personally I prefer not having either of those. So, Diablo is better for me. Also, Darkstone gives you a second character in your party, and that's really nice. Not just for combat, but for carrying various shit. Whereas on Diablo, it's just for you. Now, I can argue for the Diablo part that, like, you being alone does amplify the horror a bit, but I do think the second player added a lot for me in Darkstone. The vibes of the game are very different, and I'll give you an example. My first boss in Darkstone was a witch who would turn people to stone, and I needed to find the mirror of lies to make her believe she is beautiful so she will unfreeze them. And in Diablo, my first boss was the Butcher, an evil, vile monster who was hanging up naked dead bodies on spikes and chopping them up. The town was terrified, and some people had even been hurt by him, and the haunting music and horrifying bodies made him legitimately scary. I think the big difference is Darkstone feels more Saturday morning cartoon, and Diablo is a dark fantasy. So once again, it comes down to preference in genre, but for me, it's Diablo all the way. That's another thing about both games. A lot of quests are randomized other than the ending, so my playthrough and your playthrough might have totally different quests. And on one hand, I suppose this is cool for replayability. On the other hand, all playthroughs, regardless of missions, are going to feel basically the same, and I've never been a big fan of procedural generated shit. Story-wise, we got very simple stories. In Darkstone, we gotta collect 7 crystals to kill an evil dragon. And in Diablo, the devil and his demons are in the pits of hell, and you gotta climb down slowly, get there, and kill him. Now, yes, the story is very simple, but it can get more complex if you pay attention to it. But same with the gameplay as well for these games. It is very simple, but there is more complexity to it the more you know. And I love that. I will hop into a game and it will be complex and I'll say, well, I'll learn that later, and then I put it to the side. But this is so simple to get into that I don't have to fucking wait for a half hour of cutscenes followed by a half hour of tutorial. I can just hop the fuck in. And it's so nice. They teach you the bare minimum you need to know and off you go. Everything is simple, menus and all. And on top of that, if you played one, you basically know how to play the other. Some other various bad things about Diablo, though, is it only has one save slot, where I had multiple in Darkstone. Also, at one point, there are these specific zombies. You can know them by their yellow color, they can permanently damage your stats, and there is no way to fix it. That's not cool, it's not even a thing the game tells you. They could ruin your whole playthrough and fuck it up. I mean, now that you know that, you can just reload your save, but for those who didn't know about this thing, this could screw you over, so I feel like it's important to know. Darkstone also has something that you should know, that it doesn't tell you. Right at the beginning, if you are in the training area learning how to fight, you can't leave unless you put the training weapons back. I didn't know this, and it took too long to figure out, and I can see people getting stuck here unless you knew. Both games have a town as your hub to buy and sell things, as well as talk to strangers. Diablo, in my opinion, has the more interesting characters, but Darkstone has a better setup for me selling my shit. On top of that, Darkstone has a world you travel through in between dungeons, but in Diablo, it's just the town and the dungeons. Diablo does have the Rhino from Spider-Man, so that's pretty cool. Overall, these are both very enjoyable. I like both, but Darkstone was a good one-time thing, I think, and Diablo is a game I can see myself coming back to, so yeah.